Hey guys, it yeah, it's been a while. This seems to be a pattern. I'm really sorry. This is just going to be an update video. In the video, it's going to say deck profile, but I'm just going to do a deck profile of a game that I enjoy while I talk about updates for the channel, because I don't know what else to do. uh, without further ado, I don't know what this is. Let's get into this. First, I'd like to say for the people who don't know, does not read the community thing, but honestly, who does, and was also not a part of my Discord server or the HTCG server, I'm not making Oversoul anymore. The reason why is because of it's a lot of personal reasons. First, the game just started turning into, or the reason why I was designing the game became less about making the game for me, and it just became wanting to do stuff for other people just to make people happy, and it just took the fun out of it. It was not really something that I. It was no longer a game that I loved working on. It was just a game that was like, well, how do I get so and so to play? Um, how do I attract more people? People say that a game should be like this. Does that mean that I should do this? I should stop doing this? And led to me making a second version of the game, which I never really went through with, that to quote unquote fix the game, but I did not like it as much. Well, I liked it, but it just wasn't. I don't know. It felt like it wasn't for me. But yeah, deck profile. So this is for a game called Kaijudo. It's one of the the reboot of a card game called Duel Masters, which used to be here in the United States and it got canceled. Came back as Kaijudo. Wizard is really bad at pushing their games because this game got canceled. The game is really fun too. Like, I don't know, people shit on it, but yeah. So this is really just a deck of like what I like in the game, certain cards, and I wanted to make a deck with it. It uses the corrupted creature type, which is kind of like slivers from MTG if you're familiar with MTG. But excuse me. But pretty much it's a 40 card deck. It's a water dark nature. The objective of the deck really is just to be super aggressive. There's not like a full thing. It's just like, okay, I like this card. How can I make it optimal to put this guy out? So like the main card of the deck that I want to get to is Vicious Squalachi Scourge. I know people don't pronounce this as it's supposed to be pronounced because this is an Italian word. It's Squalachi. I think it's an Italian word. But pretty much what he does is it's an evolution creature, so I can put it on any of my corrupted creatures or Leviathans or Chimeras. If you're familiar with Pokemon, you know evolution. You can just put the card on top of something, and this game has to be very specific. And you don't have to like wait one evolution. No, you can just keep evolving and evolving if you can pay for it. But but yeah, I run two of these. He has a double breaker, so he breaks two shields. The shield mechanic originated with Duel Masters. You know the what Digimon does, what One Piece does with the cards on the side, and you break them. All that originate through Duel Masters. Saying this just in case people didn't know. Uh, I just want to inform the slows, like me, but also it has all corrupted creatures can't be blocked, and they have Slayer. Slayer is this game equivalent to Death Touch, so he's really good with a bunch of small guys that can't really do much. Um, just gives them Death Touch and they can't be blocked. So yeah, I can just crash them into stuff if I need to. But yeah, I run two of these because I don't have a third. I want to get a third. Next, I run three Aqua Trickster. By the way, the max copy of cards you can have in Kaijudo is three. And Duel Masters, originally it was four, but they changed it. I kind of like the four, but I think some of the card design was built around three, so thank God that it's at three because some of these cards get really freaking broken. But Aqua Trickster is a Is a 2 cost 1,000 power vanilla. Really, it's easy to get into your evolutions, or like if this guy here, my evolution here, because it's a 5 cost, and most of this thing, most cards in this deck, there's probably like 3 cards that are like above level 5. Uh, Even maybe 4. Even then, like there's not everything is like level 4 or lower. So I don't want to so yeah, this guy helps so that let's say I'm at 6 mana, I can just boom and then boom, just evolve right over him. So yeah, I feel like it's just a card that you want to run if you're using corrupted. There probably are better options, but I don't have them. So yeah. um, Next we run Bronze Arm Renegade. So I run 3 of these. This guy is pretty much if any of your corrupted creatures, including himself, since he is corrupted, would be banished, meaning destroyed or whatever, it gets sent to your mana zone. So yeah, he helps ramp if my things are dying. He is 2 cost 2,000 power, so he's not that bad. I think he's pretty neat. Next we have one Tricky Turnip, one of my favorite cards in the game. It basically has, I guess, hexproof, or shroud. I don't know, but he can't be targeted, or she can't be targeted because of the flavor text. I think it's a she. She can't be targeted by opponent's spells or abilities, which is pretty darn good in this. I want more, but I only run one because I only have one, and it's foil. This is actually my first foil in the game. I really love this card. I don't think the camera's focusing either. Next, we have one Skulking Cypress, whatever. It's 3 costs 2,000 power. This guy is pretty much a ramper. When he enters the battlefield, I can each player can choose a card from his or her hand and then put it into their mana zone. So this helps me ramp, of course, but because there's discarding in the deck, in this deck, it helps sort of, I guess, control the hand size of my opponent. Especially since in this game, when you attack a shield and it's destroyed, it goes straight to the opponent's hand. The card goes straight to the opponent's hand if there isn't a trigger, or if they do have a trigger, they can still choose to put it into their hand. So that's a thing. This guy's pretty cool. Next, we have Gigastan. So Gigastan, I don't actually like this card. Okay, so I like and I don't like this card. Reasons why I don't like this card is like it's 3 costs for 2,000 power, which I mean this guy does that too, but I get more out of this card than I do with Gigastan. The reason why I run Gigastan is because it's a Chimera, it's low cost, so I can get into Squalachi Scourge. Also, when it attacks, it forces my opponent to discard a card. So it helps with stuff like Mesmerize, which is another discard card in here. So that's a thing. Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, I will say like a lot of cards in Duel Masters, really influenced some of the design in Oversoul, but like I always got like I don't know, it's just like this weird kind of thing of like when I was making Oversoul, uh, I guess how do you say this feeling of being a kid? Because I remember seeing Duel Masters with that horrible CGI as a kid, and just thought it was like really cool. So like this game really brought the kid out of me when I was making Oversoul. So I really this game, Kaijudo and Duel Masters, because I like Kaijudo as well. It does feel different from Duel Masters, but it it has a special place in my heart. But as for a lot of people, we have next we have two Razor Hide. Razor Hide is a 3 cost 2,000 power that says whenever this creature attacks, you may put the top card of your deck into your mana zone. Also, it's nature. I have not been saying what the civilizations are, but it's a nature card. So the reason why I run this for some people who know the game and are wondering why are you running that? So I don't have bad apple. Bad apple makes it so that other wild veggies, so that this guy, um, become corrupted along with another ability. But it also helps me ramp. So it's like 10 times better than this because I'm running a corrupted deck, but I don't have it. So this is the next best thing. Like it still works. It's a 3 cost. You know, I can get out turn 3. If I had Fairy Life, which I don't in this deck because I run it in a Dragon deck, which isn't that great, but I still run it. Um, you know, I can get this out on turn 2. Like yeah, this he does work. He does work. Next, we have Essence Shade. So this is a multi civ card. It's purple and blue. It's water and dark. This guy is the same thing. My boss. Um, so he's just there to give power to all my corrupted things. I don't want to ride into Vanguard. I don't want to evolve from this. Personally, I just rather have him out here, get this guy like really, really, really huge in case my opponent has something. If my opponent does not have a spell or an ability to destroy him, I'd rather get him really huge with these guys to prevent him being attacked over. He does give like plus 1,000, so two of them would put him at 11k, which is pretty big. There are creatures in the game where the power gets a lot bigger, which is why I run 4 Tainted Quartz, which is our one of our level 4 creatures. This is a level 4 water nature creature. It's corrupted, like most cards in this deck. And yeah, it has 2,000 power, and its ability allows that it makes each of my corrupted creatures get plus 2,000 power, so double than Essence Shade. And of course, if I have like this guy out and I have 2 of these guys, his power is going to get really fucking big. So I wanna make sure my Skolachi is beefed up, is caked, taking his supplements, if you will. So yeah, and next we have. I feel like if you're running corrupted, you should be running this card. I only have 2, but I feel like I only need 2. It's called Choten's Lieutenant. There we go. So this guy's pretty good. It's a 4 cost 3,000 power. The reason why I run him is because whenever this card attacks, or whenever one of my corrupted creatures attack, including him, since he's corrupted, I get to draw a card, which is really good. I'm just saying, it is really, really good. Because there are times where I need to get to this, or I have him and he's out there, but I need another one. Because if you have 2, it's proven that it's really annoying to deal with. Um, I just get to it quicker, or some of my other like remove or just other stuff that I have. It's really, really cool. Also, each of my corrupted creatures can't be the target of my opponent's spells that are level 4 or less. So it protects my smaller guys. I only have 2. I feel like I only need 2, but I only have 2. But yeah. Next we have. This is for the last of the creatures. I only have 1. Well, no, I have 2. I don't know where the other one is. I can't seem to find it. But I have Dark Scare Adorable. This card is so good. It's a level 6, so 1 level higher than my boss. But it is a Chimera. So let's say I, for some reason, have like 11 mana. It's a level 6. It's a 6 cost dark with 6,000 power that says that when it's summoned, I can choose one of my opponent's shields and break it. That's basically burn damage. So, and you only get 5 shields. So you just go boom, break a shield, boom. Evolutions basically have rush, so I can attack right after. It can't be blocked. So that's 3 damage off technically 1 creature. So yeah, he's a pretty good card. I like the card. I think it's really dope. But yeah. Okay, so that's about it for my creatures. Now, update for this channel. I want to upload more stuff, more just TCG related, or just anything really. Because I actually miss making content. I think making content is really fun. That being said, I won't be making oversoul content. Maybe occasionally I'll just like, if I have the urge, I'll like make a gameplay video, but I'm not necessarily going to be making cards. Some people have asked me, will I ever think about making just a little bit more? And to that, it's like, I don't know, because my heart's not in making the game for Oversoul, but I will occasionally play the game because I do enjoy it somewhat. It has a lot of things that I like in a card game, and it has certain itches that it has certain things that it just hits for me as a card game player, on top of like the dual master elements that are in it. So especially with it being so combo heavy and like having such a important such what where spells are just more important in the game than most games that are like that. That being so, yeah. I am making. I will say this. I am making. Well, you know what? Let me get to the spells. Let me get to the rest of the deck, and I'll explain what I'm doing now. So, for the spells, first up, I have two Ice Blade. It's basically a 2 cost bounce card, but you can only bounce things that are level 4 or lower. So, pretty good. This is removal. It's pretty decent. Level based removal in this game is really powerful. I will say that. Ice Blade is a pretty good card, but it's not as strong as another card that's in this deck that I'm running at 3. Next we have Fate's Hand. It's it's a blue dark pretty much Ice Blade kinda, I think. Hold on, let me read this. If it has 3 I should know what my cards do. If it has 3,000 or less, return it to its owner's hand. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's a power based Ice Blade. Otherwise, it gets minus 3,000 power, so that's what that does. In this game, if a creature's power becomes 0, it dies automatically. It gets banished. So next we have 3 Logos Scan. I've seen videos, deck profiles, where people will not run this at 3. Maybe they might have 1, but I've seen videos where it's like it's not good at 3 or something like that. I could be wrong. Maybe the guy that I saw or the people that I saw were just weird. I love this card. It's a pot of greed. It's a 3 cost pot of greed. It's a 3 cost pot of greed. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to run this. And it's like the gold border thing. Hold on, let me take this out. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's a 3 cost pot of greed. That's it. A 3 cost pot of greed. Next we have Mesmerize, which forces my opponent to. It allows me to look at my opponent's hand, and I can discard a card from it. It's 3 costs, and I love this card. It's pretty good. Uh, I used to run 3. 3 felt too much, and then I ended up realizing, hey, I have a Mesmerize on wheels. So yeah, with legs, if you will. So technically, I have 4 Mesmerize, 2 of them being creatures, and then this card. But next is the card that I told you is probably like the best removal, I would say, or the best level based. The card that's better than Ice Blade. This is Bone Blades. Yeah, so Bone Blades is a banish target enemy creature that's level 4 or less. So that's pretty darn good. I just boom, your thing's dead. So yeah. Next is Shadow Strike. Shadow Strike is, I have to read these cards. This is Shield Blast, by the way. I feel like I should be explaining that. Most of these spells are triggers, so that's a good thing for me. Anyways, so choose one of your creatures. Target enemy creature loses power equal to that creature's power until the end of turn. So yeah, I can kill self with this potentially. Next is I have 3 of these, but I have them split up into 3 different decks. So that's why I'm only have 1 in this deck. It is Crystal Memory. Basically, you pay 4 in order to search for any card in your deck and add it to your hand. That's pretty good, in my opinion. It's really good, and it's a trigger. So yeah. Next is Grip of Despair. It's 5 cost, and what this guy does, it's a shield trigger, like most of the spells in this deck. Return target creature from the battle zone to its owner's hand. then that player chooses and discards a card. So it's a bounce and a discard. Like I said earlier, there are a few discard cards in here, um, and I like that. I like trying to cripple my opponent severely. So yeah. Next we have reinforce. Reinforce because this is based on having a lot of creatures out there, so that by the time I can evolve, I can evolve. Reinforce is a 5 cost shield trigger that lets me look at the top 3 cards of my deck. I can reveal any number of creatures from among them and put those creatures into my hand. The rest will go at the bottom of my deck in either order, but it helps me get my evolutions into hand. It just helps me get my pieces. There's draw power in this. It's one of the best draw powers uh, or searcher or whatever you want to call it in this deck. It's really good. I really like it. If you're doing something that's based on evolution, really, actually no. If you're playing green and you're not running this, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know. Especially if you have like a lot of small stuff that you need to summon, like this deck, and you're not running this, then rethink what your deck building choices are. Next, we have one Nightmare Helix. Nightmare Helix is a 6 cost that lets me choose one of the 2 abilities on it. So I can either banish target. I can't read it. Banish target untapped enemy creature, or I can choose up to 2 creatures in my discard pile and return them to my hand. So I can bring this guy back. So yeah, and it's a level 6. So yeah, it takes a while to get there. Sometimes I need it, and sometimes I don't need it. If I don't need it, I just put it in mana. And then the last card, my favorite cards, Terror Pit, and the TCG. In Duel Masters, this card is a level 6 trigger, and then they balanced it out, making it a level 7. If they were going to balance things out and do stuff like that, then they should have never made Holy Awe. But Holy Awe is a lifesaver sometimes, so I'm kind of torn between the two. But Terror Pit is basically destroy target enemy creature for 7, and it's a trigger. That's it. It's really good. But yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, that's it for the spells. This is my corrupted deck, my corrupted chimera kind of deck. 3 Civ, Water Dark Nature. I love this deck. It's one of my favorite decks that I play. And sometimes the people that I play with occasionally, if they want to play this game, don't like this deck. So even though I have better decks than this, I think I have better decks. I don't know. But yeah, so that's that deck profile, and so I guess to end the video, I can explain what I'm doing. So now that I'm no longer working on Oversoul, which I've explained one of the reasons why I'm not doing it, on top of just personal reasons, mental health reasons. Some of y'all know that I have mental health problems, um, and so on. And so whenever I get into trying to make Oversoul, it no longer I can't get in the headspace. All the negative feelings just come when I try to work on that game, which kind of sucks. But so I dropped the game. I'm not making it anymore. It was a bad X. So by the way, I have more Kaijudo decks. If you guys are interested, I can do deck profiles. They're not that great, but the next thing I'm working on now, because I'm working on another project. If you guys remember, there's a game called Project Gear that I used to make, and I remember that game was received a lot better than Oversoul. Even the people that played it just preferred Project Gear. Um, so I'm actually bringing that back because there are a lot of things that I like about that game, and I wanted to get the game, fix some of the problems that it had, which I'll make a whole nother video about. Um, and so yeah, that's coming back. Project Gear is coming back. It won't have the sci-fi aesthetic to it. It will just have like this very fantasy. I guess there might be some sci-fi elements, but it will keep the astral sort of like souls and all that stuff. The creatures are called mirages now. There are different clans still. They're unmixable now because it helps keep the game balanced. But yeah, I'm enjoying the process right now. I'm enjoying the process. It has that sort of. I'm starting to get back that sort of like, oh, what would a dumbass kid like me enjoy? So yeah, right now I finally have the first. I would guess I'll name drop one of the clans. It's the Red Clan. They are called Apex Krieg, like Blitzkrieg. They're all about warfare and sacrificing the ability to support with their back row in order to do some very aggressive things. So that's a really cool thing that I'm excited to do, excited to make, and I'm going to make more videos on that in the future. Yeah. So hope you guys enjoy this. I know this is probably random. You weren't expecting this, but yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bull Shack Dragon. Peace.